Let's look at the ways we can measure an image size. There are actually 4 components to this measurement. The file size, which is in terms of data, how much space it'll take on your hard drive. The document size, which is the physical size if it were printed. The resolution, which refers to pixels per inch. And pixel dimensions. Pixel dimensions refers to the size of the image in screen pixels. This is what you're measuring when you're talking about megapixels in a camera. When you first open an image, you can quickly see the pixel dimensions, which are in the bottom left hand. This image is 1500 by 1200 pixels. So that's a screen size and how many pixels are in the image itself. If we multiply these two numbers together, we can find out how many megapixels this image is. To look at the file size, we would need to go back and look at the original file. If I click on File and go down to Open Image, where I open this file, I can set this so that I can look at the details. From this tab, I can click on Details, and it gives me more information about the file. Mainly what I'm looking for is the file size. So this particular image, called Blending, has a file size of 1613 kilobytes or 1.6 megabytes. Notice the one below it is about 4 megabytes. Since I'm in Open, I'm going to go ahead and open Pond and look at it. So this image is 4 times bigger than the one behind it, called Blending. And if we look in the bottom left, our pixel dimensions are 3000 by 2400. If we multiply those together, that would make this image about 7.2 megapixels. So what we know from pixel dimensions so far is that the Pond image is about 7.2 megapixels in size, which is very typical of our digital cameras. They put out very, very large images. So if I was interested in printing this image, there's plenty of data to get a good print. There are programs that will calculate that print image and give you that information. Unfortunately, Pixlr does not. We also know that the file size is 4094 kilobytes. The Pond image is 4 times bigger. It's about 4 megabytes. So if I wanted to email this image to somebody, the email system I was using would have to be able to accept an attachment of 4 megabytes. If it doesn't, it would kick it back and it would not let it go through. So if I want to lower the size of this image, the file size, so that I can easily email it to someone, I have to reduce the pixel dimensions. To do that, I go up to Image, go to Image Size. Now you can see that we have our width and our height, that's our pixel dimensions, and we have a constrained proportions. If we want to keep this proportional, we want to leave that on. If you don't, you can get it short and fat or tall and skinny. That's not what we want. So I'm going to reduce this way down. I'm going to go to 640. That gives my height an equivalent proportion of 512 and say OK. Now you can see the pixel dimensions in the lower left, 640 by 512. I can view this a little better by going up to View and go to Show All. It looks about the same. Can't see much change, but you notice that the pixel dimension is much smaller. Now if I save this, I'm going to go 100% on a JPEG. And you'll see down here at the bottom, my size is now going to be 401 kilobytes. Well, 401 kilobytes, that's a little less than half a megabyte. We've taken this image from 4 megabytes to less than half of a megabyte.